at the Oklahoma State University State 4-H office, and I work in the area of healthy living. I just finished washing my hands for 20 seconds with lots of soap and warm water, and now I'm looking forward to making Wacky Cake or Funny Cake, or sometimes known as War Cake. This is a great cake that you can make. It makes a small portion, 8 by 8. So you won't have lots of leftovers if you're worried about making a big cake as you are in your house for several days as we're all going through this quarantine. The fun thing about this cake is it's like a science experiment in a cake. It uses very simple ingredients. There are variations that you can use to make this cake. For our cake today, we're going to use very simple ingredients. We have flour, sugar, unsweetened cocoa powder, baking soda, salt. Those will be our dry ingredients. Then we'll be adding 3 liquid ingredients and finally topping the whole cake off with our 4th ingredient. We have white vinegar, vanilla extract, oil, and then 1 cup of cold water. So let's get started. We're going to be using an 8 by 8 cake pan. And the fun thing about this dish is that who likes doing dishes? We make everything in the cake pan. So we're gonna add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, followed by 1 cup of white sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we want to be careful never to measure our ingredients over our dish in case we would accidentally get too much and ruin all of our ingredients. We will then add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, making sure we're using baking soda, not baking powder. The baking soda is going to act as the base in our cake. And then our last dry ingredient is 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. So this is going to be our dry ingredient base. We're then going to use a fork and mix all of these ingredients together. Be very meticulous, making sure that everything, all of the dry ingredients are mixed around. I'm just finished getting all of my ingredients completely mixed together and dispersed. Now for Wacky Cake or Funny Cake, we make 3 wells in here, in the cake. So I'm going to make a large well that is going to hold all of our oil. So this is going to be the biggest one. Then I'm going to make 2 small wells, 1 to hold the vanilla and 1 to hold the vinegar. So I'm going to start with the vanilla, and I'll put it in the smallest one, and we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we'll carefully put it in the small well. Then we will be moving on to our white vinegar. We'll be putting 1 tablespoon of white vinegar in the other small well. If you remember, we talked about having a base in the baking soda. This is the acid. I bet probably most of you at some time or another during a science fair or a science project have made a volcano with baking soda and vinegar, and it erupted. This is the same thing that we will be having a volcanic type reaction in our cake. It will be producing carbon dioxide. Then we are going to put our 3rd liquid ingredient in the well, which I referred to earlier, which is a total of 6 tablespoons of oil. Perfect. So now we have our dry ingredients with 3 wells, oil, vinegar, and vanilla. The next step that we will do is to pour 1 cup of cold water over the top of the entire cake and then begin stirring with a fork. One of the great things about this recipe is that everything is made in your 8x8 dish. So you do not have to have a bunch of dishes or a hand mixer or a stand mixer. All you need really is a set of measuring cups, measuring spoons, your ingredients, an 8x8 pan, and a fork to mix it all together. I just finished mixing together with the fork all of the ingredients. Remember, we had the dry ingredients, we made the 3 wells, we put the 3 liquids in, then poured 1 cup of cold water over the top. Now it's time to bake our wacky cake. I'm preheating the oven to 350 degrees, and so I just heard it ding, so I'm ready to put it in, and hang tight and we'll have a cake in just a few minutes. I'm just taking our wacky cake out of the oven. It smells delicious. I baked it 350 degrees for 30 minutes and it smells delicious. We're going to let it cool thoroughly. You could then put a layer of icing on it or just dust it with powdered sugar, or my favorite way is just eating it plain. I want to encourage you to bake a wacky cake or a funny cake. You can check out other varieties such as snickerdoodle, lemon, vanilla online. And I want you to bake a cake and then post a picture of you and your cake, letting us know what variety you made on the Facebook page, and we will be drawing for a winner to receive an apron and a 4-H spoon. Thanks, and have a great day, and remember to stay healthy.